I was talking with Barry right before the call, and I wonder, Barry, if you could say, because you had a situation that happened. First of all, you were telling me about a testimonial that you had, but then you also said that it was like providential thing happened where someone was drawn to you, and it was quite was beyond coincidental. Barry, do you mind telling us the story?
Jerry, I'd be honored to, but me and my wife have collected so many stories over the last few months that it's hard to keep track of them. But what you said today is so key. People are being drawn to us. Once you see this company and what this product is doing, you can't unsee it any longer. And once it goes, what you just said, and I've heard Kristen say that too, when it goes from your head to your heart, that's where the magic starts to happen, and people are drawn to you. And yes, me and my wife have seen several miracles. You know that. I've expressed those to you. But the latest after this autoimmune disease that I had, that the top neurologist in the Western states said, Barry, I can't do anything for you. You've got an autoimmune disease. There's so many of them out there, I can't tell which one it is. You're going to have to learn to live with the pain, or we're going to have to put you on really strong drugs. That's when God touched you, Jerry, and you touched me, and this whole journey began. I haven't had to learn to live with the pain. For the last 3 months, it's gone. I can't wait to go back to the neurologist. I'm so excited to go back because he's a good guy and tell him what's happened. And that appointment's coming up. But I just went back to the eye specialist last week. 6 months ago, he said, I'm very, very concerned about your eyes, Barry. There's lots of things going on here. I go back this week. They do all the tests. He comes in, he looks through the things, and he's looking, and he says, I don't see anything. And he steps away, and then he says, I have to look again. And he goes back and he does all the stuff again. And he said, Barry, these eyes are fine. They're fine. Now, that was 6 months ago, very concerned. 4 of those last 6 months, by the way, we've been on this product. It's, one, I know I'm taking too long, but yeah, sitting in a restaurant yesterday, me and my wife, and I hear them talking. They're so close to us, I couldn't help but overhear the conversation. And they're salesmen and they're in the insurance business. And I know that I've got to talk to them about this. And I'm thinking, okay, how do I interrupt their conversation? I've already got my 3 cards out to give to them. And the waitress comes and takes their credit card, takes ours, comes back with the bills, gives him back their credit card, and gives my wife her credit card and the bills. And she looks, and all of a sudden, we have his bill also, his receipt. It's an open door now. I've got to, I would have found a way to talk to him anyway, but this made it so much easier. I said, excuse me, but I think I've got your receipt. He looks at it and says, yeah, that is mine. I says, I couldn't help but overhear your conversation. I know you guys are in sales, and it appears you're in the insurance industry. And they all said, yep. I said, well, I've got to tell you something that is absolutely the hottest thing in the country right now. I says, I'm sure you're aware that the 70%, 77% of Americans have at least one pet in their house. Yep, they said that. I says, you're also aware, I'm sure, that you know that the pet industry is a $247 billion industry projected to triple in the next 3 to 5 years. One of the guys said, yeah, I've heard that. I said, well, here's my card. And I've given each of them the card. I said, this is all part of it. Me and my wife have seen miracles within our own family, let alone the miracles this company is creating. The one gentleman that was doing most of the talking said, well, I'm sure you don't know that this gentleman across from me is the top insurance salesman in the Western United States. I said, no, I didn't. About that time, he gets out his card and gives it to me and says, I am very interested in what you just talked about. Let's talk early next week. It's a God thing, Jerry. You and I have talked about this forever. The Lord is opening the way to get this product into the hands of so many people and animals that need this. I got to tell one more.
Please.
We've got 2 dog stories in our family. Now we've got a third. My other daughter's dog, bad shape, sick, throwing up, can't eat. Goes to the vet. She spends $1,500 and still nothing going on. They go back. She spends another $1,000 for the test, and they determined that his liver is shutting down, and they're at a loss of what to do. We get it on the secret sauce, the super sauce, twice a day. 2 weeks later, she goes back, and they run the test again, and he said, everything's fine. And she says, what do you mean everything's fine? You told me it was shutting down a couple of weeks ago. And he says, basically the only thing I know is the machine must have been broken that we run the test on. And meantime, she spent another $1,000. So this stuff, you can't make this up, Jerry. It's everywhere. And we're all blessed to be a part of it. And thank you and Hernan for leading the way here.
Well, thank you, Barry. It comes down to understanding the miracle of life and supporting that, honoring and supporting what we were created to be, not thinking that we need to add something to it or take something away or poison something. Just allow it, support it to be the miracle that it was intended to be. It's just common sense, and the ancients even understood it. So we can bring that back again. So thank you, Barry.